Hey, everybody, and welcome to our final vigil live here in DC. I would like to thank everybody who turned out. I would like to thank everybody that donated, first of all, to get us here and get Taylor over into London. Um, Today, we went, just like Monday, a march from the White House to the to Trump Tower, and then ultimately to the Department of Justice. What do you guys think?
We had a good turnout today. It was nice to kind of repeat what we did before. I think we did things a little bit differently as we were marching down the road, and we were a little bit more comfortable this time with it. We both times we actually had was it the Metropolitan Police of DC?
No, it was DHS.
Oh, DHS, yeah.
Wasn't it?
DHS and Metro.
Yeah.
So we had an escort each time, just to kind of make sure we could cross as a group. Yeah, we had some different speeches. We had some different people talk this time. Veterans Peace, Code King. Anybody else that joined us today that I'm not remembering?
There was the People Power Assembly.
Yes, they were there with us. They were also with us at Chelsea Manning's jail. So very cool that they came today too.
Struggle Lucha turned out with us today as well from the Baltimore area. Thank you very much, Ian Schlackman, for helping us get more and more people here. I look forward to more Ian Schlackman-esque people stepping forward to help organize communities of people that already exist to share information. So big thank you to Ian, and I hope to get 10 more of him involved.
We had a lady with a fake like chicken hat show up with a giant megaphone. And I don't know if that took place during the live stream or not, but we became exponentially louder. And she was just a random person who showed up in DC with a megaphone.
Yeah,
she's like, "Oh, I don't have a permit here. You guys want to use it?"
Yeah, and she walked with us and let us use it the whole way through. So yeah, we were reverberating off the buildings as we were marching through DC. That was pretty fun.
You could hear our chants echo like down the corridors of the buildings. It's crazy.
Yeah. A little colder today than it was Monday.
I think we actually had more people turn out this time.
But yeah, we definitely had the truck. And yeah, we had the billboard truck today. We had that yesterday. We sent them down to CPAC last night, and they were with us today driving around as we marched. We got some good pictures in front of the White House with the truck. Trump was actually in the White House today, so we did take some time to address him directly. Yep. Andrew
I think we have those up on a live stream, but we also have them recorded in much higher quality. And we recorded a lot of everything we did with the live stream, but then also with a separate phone, because our live stream quality, it's just to have everyone just see what we're doing out there, but it generally doesn't look that great. So we have another device that was recording that we're going to upload videos to and get them all edited together to give you guys a presentation of what we've done this week.
So yeah, we did learn a lot using technology in DC, outside, live streaming, what worked, what wasn't working as far as sound and video, and what we want to do differently next time as far as recording more. Also just experimented with different sound systems. Each location was a little different. Each location we had a little bit, it seemed like a new technical thing to overcome, whether it was getting internet connection, Wi-Fi, 5G or whatever we could get onto to live stream to you guys. So yeah, this has been a learning experience for all of us. But we, there isn't a Assange group in DC. So we, not only were we reporting and bringing you guys the live stream, but we were creating the action here.
And helping to bring the other Assange supporters together to start.
That was a big thing that I think all of the Assange supporters from around the country that came in, and we even had some people from Montreal drive down.
And there was a gentleman from Belgium too
that
in Berlin.
In Berlin, yeah. So yeah, getting to bring the supporters together, I think, was a huge success of this week. And getting people to meet in person and collaborate and share ideas and learn from each other was, initially one of our goals, but I think it turned out that created a camaraderie that was even better than we expected. So, yeah.
So we actually have a couple people here with us that we want to introduce you to. They're organizers from other parts of the country. So I'm going to hop off the couch and let them start coming on. Whoever would like to come up first.
Please feel free to introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from and what you've been doing for Assange.
Cool. Hi, my name is Deha. Hi, my name is Deha. So I'm an organizer up in New York. It's like I've advocated for Julian, Assange, just from a personal standpoint, and then working with local groups like NYC for Assange. Yeah, and it was good to come down this week and finally meet like the Acting for Assange team. And Christy, it's like when we started with you, Jay, like doing social media stuff. So it's finally good to come down in person.
Yeah. Very cool. So tell us maybe some differences you noticed with NYC. And they've been doing that a lot longer than we have, obviously, here in DC. But is there any big differences you've noticed doing this from city to city?
I think in New York, it's just, I think there's comparative advantage in that, it's like the population density, you can just reach more people, at a time, and you can have places like Grand Central Station. So NYC for Assange has been like doing like video projections on the wall.
Yeah.
And that's gotten people's attention. And it's like we were also from the New York Times as well, and like Square. So we're in very public places where we can just get a lot of people. But there's been kind of a shift. Like people used to ignore us or ridicule us, but people now are actually getting interested. I take that as a good sign. And it's also an opportunity to speak to diverse groups of people. Because I mean, just from a personal standpoint, it's like if we are to grow this movement, we have to be able to reach like all types of people. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get your hardcore people who are into WikiLeaks, and you know a lot about Assange, but then I personally think it's important to find ways to connect to the average person. It's like because Julian, represents all of us, but how does it, how to make that connection to the average person who may not see that. Because they're like, oh, I work my 9-to-5 job, or it's like I work 2 to 3 jobs. I gotta go home with my kids. Why should I care about this?
Yeah, definitely. What has been, I think, for you, the most challenging thing of being on the ground active in New York?
It's about, I mean, it's just about being able to organize and mobilize. So New York City has the comparative advantage of, just being networked into many activist groups. But at the same time, people are involved in so many things, like so many different issues, that you just have to find that wedge to be able to be like, okay, let's organize around this issue, because there's just so many things going on. But if you're able to really connect people together, you can mobilize and rally around an issue. And it isn't just necessarily about doing Assange or WikiLeaks. This applies to any kind of issue they want to organize and mobilize.
Yeah, and a lot of what this week was, outside of all of the actions that you've seen and all of the live streams that we've done, I think we pretty much hit 2 a day live streams, if not 3.
Yeah.
Probably the entire time we're here. Is networking, is getting, because we've made some connections and contacts here that are going to help increase our presence when we come back sick. And we should come.
Yeah, so
right now.
Yeah, so we're already thinking ahead to the next action and what how we want to organize, how we want to learn from this, what we need to do in the coming months.
So I would say just from my personal experiences as a organizer, or something like this. I would say it's like find a way to delegate the responsibilities. So it's like a group of people that is dedicated to like working on communications, media. Someone handles the technical aspects, and then someone else has the delegated responsibility of like coordinating the on-the-ground action. So this way, you're not overwhelmed, overburdened, and just feeling like you have to have your hand in every little thing, because it gets overwhelming.
It does.
And it's like, it's like when you can focus on that one thing, like you think about like the best message that you can deliver.
Yeah, and this is good advice for anybody planning any action. You don't necessarily have to be part of planning the Washington D.C. action. If you're thinking about starting something in your city, yeah, this is great advice from somebody who's had some really great experience. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for coming down to Washington.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Daniel, would you like to come over? All right, Daniel, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us where you're from and what you have been doing in your location?
So I'm from Pittsburgh, been organizing. I live in Durham, North Carolina now, so started a little action team down there, and about 5 of us now. But yeah, I got connected with you all, and just been doing what I can, putting flyers up everywhere, writing letters to Julian, and I also have a connection with Brady Governor, he's a big supporter. So,
Yeah, you've been on the show a few times now.
mhm.
What got you interested specifically in Julian Assange and WikiLeaks to the point that you felt like you wanted to go out on the streets and you wanted to talk to people?
Yeah, I mean, I've always supported Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. I guess as far as actually getting into the street, it was seeing him being dragged out of that embassy. I mean, I really couldn't get that out of my head. I mean, it's like 1984. I mean, and it's again, there's one network covering it, like, or when he actually got put out. Just like,
Right.
yeah, that was kind of the like, okay, he just be on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
Not it anymore.
And so many people like yourselves, that was sort of their awakening. I've been paying attention to this. Now I feel like it's my turn to go out and do something because this is my breakthrough point that I have now.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what it's going to take. So,
Yeah. So what was it like for you to come to Washington, D.C. To be a part of the protest here and kind of be in the middle of the government yelling out for Assange and protesting and your interactions here?
yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, I'm excited to see some of the video too. I mean, you'll get some amazing speeches. And it went hard. It's pretty
Yes,
awesome.
and Andrew
Andrew's on fire today.
It was. But
Guy was yelling at a bunch of cops. They should come over and arrest him because look, here's what happened. Eugene Debs gave the speech. I should probably qualify this. I've been having to qualify a lot of shit this week. Eugene Debs gave a speech that was found to be in violation of the espionage act. So we went and stood in front of the Department of Justice, and Andrew played that speech, and then got on the megaphone, and Ed was like talking to the cops. He's like, "Do you even know that this speech was a violation of the espionage act? Do you know the laws that you're supposed to enforce? Do you motherfuckers know how to do your job? Like, do you have any idea what I pay you for? Like, and it was flat out saying, like, I should be arrested for playing this speech. And I didn't check because I didn't want to jinx it. So I don't know if any of those cops went or not. I don't. But it was a hell of a thing to see. It was.
We can officially say that Andrew has violated.
Andrew has violated the espionage act.
All right. Daniel, what are you planning now to do after DC in the interim time between Julian's first week of the hearing and when it continues in May?
yeah, we'll definitely continue to get this putting up flyers. Hopefully, I mean, seeing you all do this in action and having megaphone and stuff like that. I mean, I would love to set up something like that in my downtown area. I'm not as great. Yes. But yeah, we have to get in the streets like that. And but yeah, I'm definitely happy to help with the May organize. I mean, I know you guys did. It's not easy to like organize something like
We
this.
want as many people helping to organize as many ideas and people on the ground knowing how to do things and collaborating as we can.
Yeah.
Have you board back this month?
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the stream
Yeah, I
and
appreciate it.
coming to DC. Oh, Kendra, do you want to come over?
Here, I can move too. I can. You can both sit down. I can go. Okay.
And Kendra is here with the Denver Action for Assange group. Kendra, do you have any final thoughts on how this week went? What you're looking forward to in May coming back?
I mean, I think that was like great. I mean, I think it's absolutely incredible how many different actions were passed or like packed into this week. You know, like you guys said, it wasn't just the protest. There were so many things outside of that connection. And I think that one of the best things here for our group too was just growing, like talking to, you know, our Capitol building, talking to Deha for a while, someone really experienced about, you know, how to even just reach people and talk to people, and also seeing all the different supporting groups. You have so many different supporting groups, and getting to hear from them, you know, why this is important to them specifically, you know, and individuals too. Like I think that's helpful. Really, we do have to have the unity for Jay, you know, and I think those principles are so important. I think a lot of people are coming together. So that was great. And then we had actions in our nation's capital. You know, this is where all of this is originating from the US. It's just so important that we had people standing up and saying, you know, we are against this, and hopefully inspiring more people. You know, we met a lot of locals at the camp show. Yes. Inspiring those people maybe to start some of their own.
Yes, and many of them signed the flag too. We had that at the camp show last night as well.
Yeah. So it was great. It was just good to be a part of it. I think it's successful. Look forward to May and everything we've learned.
Yeah. So do you think Denver is going to be planning some actions in between now and May? What is your plans for Denver?
Yes.
And what you've learned here to take back?
Definitely. Really, what we'd really like to do in Denver is get some sort of speakers event together. Even, you know, if we're not able to do that with fundraising or whatnot, whatever that entails, we made a lot of good contacts here. So that's really what we're going to try to do between now and next expedition during phase 2 of that. So we'd really like to focus on that, and then obviously for sure we'll have another rally in May before the local protest.
Thanks for coming up.
We should all go to Denver by 10 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should plan a big action in Denver. All right, Dak, you've been with us all week. What are your final thoughts as we are wrapping up the week of action in DC?
Well, first of all, I hope I don't take away from Andrew's felonious thunder by considering myself to be an unindicted co-conspirator in his federal crime today of citing his project. So if you go to prison, I'll try to. Nice. This whole week here was actually the exact opposite of what I did on the campaign trail, trying to get those presidential candidates on the record to talk about Assange. Instead of brushing shoulders with these pampered, decadent millionaires and sometimes billionaires who don't actually care about the First Amendment or personal expression or war crimes or corruption or anything like that. Instead, I hung out with a bunch of people who came here on their own expense, on their own dime, who are not household names. Several of whose names are here on this little flag behind us, and these are the absolute best people. This is where activism really like produces its reward, is when you come together with people who actually share your values, who actually have something in common. Guys that you're not alone in this fight, as depressing as it may seem, as hopeless as it may seem. There are people out there who share your passion and your fire and share your commitment, conviction, and they're the absolute best thing. I told Ian Schlackman when I met him the other day in person for the first time that he was by far the best presidential candidate that I encountered. And yeah, to meet him I would much rather sit down and have a drink with him than with the prominent household names on the show. And that goes for all the people here. I don't want to talk to anybody from the Washington Post, New York Times. I'd rather sit with people journalists. These guys are all fantastic. I love them.
Yeah, we had a lot of independent media covering us. I don't think we had any mainstream media who, even though we invited them out multiple times in multiple locations, and even sent out some press releases, we did not have any mainstream media coverage, but we did have a lot of student journalists, a lot of different independent media. And that was really an interesting experience to interact with them and explain why they should care about Julian Assange with WikiLeaks.
Well, mainstream media is a contradiction in terms. If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself, and that's why I created my own website. That's why you guys created Vigil. That's why other people did whatever it is they're doing. That's why people are watching this right now, because they're, instead of watching CNN and NBC, Fox News, or any other pseudo intellectual porn you find out there, they want to watch something of actual merit. And so you got to do it yourself. There's a democratization to the media that's possible now, and that again is where the value. So I mean that's where the direct. So that's what.
And I'll say this: as wide a lane as there is for people to be a part of independent media, there is a significantly wider lane for people to be involved on the ground floor of activism. And if we've been talking to people all week about this. If you have a specific cause that is your cause, you don't get to freely distribute information about that cause if all of our speech goes away. All of our speech goes away. Julian Assange actually died incarcerated. So when you go out your thing with your sign, put your Julian Assange sign on the back, and you can still march forward facing with the cause that you're there to represent, but everyone who is behind you will additionally know where you stand on free speech, and it will help engage on multiple levels with people who are involved in other activities in the activities.
I mean, it's not hard or expensive to do this on our own. These are free. This is free software that we have here. 8 months ago, I didn't even have a Twitter account. I was just some guy with a cell phone who went up the site to ask me again where it stood on Assange, and that shows that you can, how far that you can do it yourself. It's not hard. It's not expensive, especially if you live in a primary state. If you live in a state where the presidential candidates are coming up soon, please go up to them and let them know that this is an issue that's important to you. And if they don't answer this question the correct way, where there's only one decision, no expedition, then they're not going to be getting it well. Once they feel the pressure in that sense, they're going to recognize that they actually have to take decisions, or at the very least educate themselves.
Definitely, yeah. I think we have talked to a lot of different people in DC. A lot of people showed solidarity with us as we walked around. We interacted with a lot of different groups and had a lot of different co-sponsoring activist groups that came out and we got to talk with and make connections with. That ultimately, I think, will help us build on this action and help everybody go back to their respective states and build there.
We had people at the event this afternoon who Andrew and Kimber and I met. We went down to the Embassy Protection Collective here today. Which, by the way, not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, Kevin Zeese from the Embassy Protection Collective will be on that vigil, and he'll be able to go in detail what happened on the legal end of that. But we were able to go. We attended the hearing, and we've got some pictures outside. They got presented. It was like framed artwork, but it was a collaborative piece of artwork that had a ton of signatures on it for the four protectors. And the people who were outside to support them were stoked when we showed up. Like they saw our buttons and were like, "Oh, you're here with your son? Oh, cool thing. What are you up to today? What are you doing? Where you like?" And then a half dozen of them or so showed up. So it was great because there were like 9 people outside.
I mean, today was such a great feeling because instead of being the one guy in a room of 500 who's supporting Julian Assange, it was surrounded by a group of Assange supporters, and the detractors were in a very small. And the French Revolution started with just a few students sitting around in a cafe thinking about what they could do to try to help corrupt Napoleonic government. They weren't going to take their nonsense. And so to everybody here, and to everybody watching right now, it can start with you. Just get together. You're not. That's the message from all this event. Not alone. These people out here, we actually exist. We're not Russian robots. Sometimes it would be better if we were. We might be a little bit more efficient that way. But and we're real. We're looking for you. We're waiting for you. And someday, good night and good luck.
Great, Andrew. Any final thoughts, Andrew and Steve, as we wrap up this of our final DC streaming?
I mean, really, the only thing we had missing here this week was you guys at home that are still watching.
Except for those of you in the chat who are named Rufus, because you were here. And
Yes. Thank you
And
so much
others,
for your help. And there were others.
And Jason Burmis, I want to
Jason
thank him.
Burmis?
He came out, did awesome streams with us. Our video with Cassandra, the quality sucks. One of our amazing friends over here has been working really hard on getting that cleaned up. So we're going to get you that full audio and video. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, ultimately, I just want to say thank you. Like, I want to say thank you to everyone that trusted us to come out here. Thank you to everyone that donated. Thank you to everyone that shared the link to make this happen.
Thank you all for every time we popped up on the live stream, for watching us and always interacting in the chat and supporting us, letting us know if there are any tech issues. So that helps keep us able when we are in an outdoor location and we can't necessarily hear if the YouTube stream is good enough. Yeah, you're just always kind of keeping us up to task, and we just honestly appreciate all of your support for all of this.
Everything that we started this weekend for this week, we don't get to stop. Like, that's not, it's already out of our control. The best we can do is show up and help it build and help it grow. If you've helped us get here, thank you so much. We're going to need that again, because we are coming back, and we're definitely going to need your support to do that. So if you also have any way that what we can do to make it better, what we can do to make it better.
If you're someone with a certain set of skills that can help us with tech, because like, I love Josh, he is the godsend, but we still have no clue how to do on the ground AV properly.
Well,
we're looking for projector teams.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas that we want to do, and we just need the personnel and the people to help us. And we have a Discord now. We have an action person on Discord now where we can congregate those people and find out what your specific task or skill is, so you can help us plan and organize and get really an efficient, well-oiled machine, decentralized machine. But nonetheless, I make this better and better every time we do something like this.
Yeah, so look for that. Be aware that that's going to be coming down the pipe. We're going to start organizing live teach-ins soon. If that's something that you feel like you could help facilitate, please reach out to us as soon as possible. And we're just going to hit it as hard as we possibly can to organize as many people as we can to get back to Washington, D.C. in May and June for the second phase of the exhibition hearing.
But also to get people in their streets.
Yeah.
Because not everyone has the means to get here.
Right.
So our hope is, right, we did, none of us.
Yeah.
So our hope is that we can be here to represent you, because there are no other representatives. And those who can make it with us can be here. But if you can't make it for whatever reason, be the protest in your town. Start your local action for Assange. And there is a massive community of people out there, not even just in the Free Assange and Action for Assange, but in all of these other groups that you would also fit into that will help you along the way. Do we want to say thanks? Wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. We will do more of these. We are live every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time until midnight to 2 in the morning, depending on when we start to get really loopy.
How much news we have to cover?
Yeah. So again, thank everyone for helping us get here, and we look forward to doing this again.
We can't wait till you're